So first of all, before we get into the nitty-gritty of things, can you just tell me a little bit about what you guys do at BBB?
Yes, the Better Business Bureau, we've been around for over 100 years. The Chattanooga office has been around for more than 40 years. Uh, in fact, probably longer than that. Skip that. Hopefully, don't publish that. um, but we provide a variety of services. The BV was originally founded on basically protecting consumers from false advertisements. Back in the day, in the early 1900s, there were a lots of what they used to call snake oil salespeople who would go around the country and sell all kinds of remedies to help cure everything. And local townspeople realized this was a problem, and so these they used to call them advertising federations or vigilantes started cropping up, and eventually they joined together and created the Better Business Bureau. And it was initially to protect consumers from bad advertisers. And then it grew and grew and became more than just advertising. It became a way to encourage businesses to behave better, to do better, to be better for their communities. And the BB became hopefully a sign of trust for both consumers and businesses over time. And if a business agrees to comply with our uh, agreements, then that hopefully helps consumers feel safe that they're dealing with a good business. And we also handle complaints and do customer reviews, hopefully good customer reviews, but also negative ones. But we try to help people um, resolve issues that they may be having with companies.
And now, as the world has changed and evolved, we live in this digital era where almost everything can be done online.
Yeah.
And when stuff like this, good stuff can come from this, but also there's the good, the bad, and the ugly. Can you talk about some of the dangers specifically children can face in this online landscape, whether it be via online video game or just social media and the websites?
Absolutely. Children are so trusting in many ways, even though today's children may be a little bit less trusting than others because they've heard and seen a lot more than maybe we did as children. But that doesn't mean they're still not vulnerable. And especially when they see a very slick website or, a fancy app, or they have friends playing really cool games, that is an attractive thing. And kids sometimes don't think this can be a bad thing because I know everyone's doing it. Everybody's on this app, everybody's playing this game. It must be okay. And that's not necessarily the case. One thing that parents and kids need to realize is that all of these games out there, for the most part, are there to make money somehow, some way. They're there to make money. They have to pay their staff to create those games. And so, even though it may look fun and it may look safe, it really is so important for both the parents and the children to understand what are the privacy policies for this company? What are they doing to ensure that kids are protected? And parents need to be parents, and they need to at sometimes say, I'm not comfortable with this. I'm not comfortable with what I'm seeing. No, you cannot download that app.
Exactly. And can you talk about what are some of the traps out there that social media or just people online would lay for these children who are a little bit more
Oh,
trusting or gullible
sure.
than adults?
Oh, sure. People who are, I hate to say this, professional predators, they know exactly how to behave in a way online to attract children. They know how to play the game. They know how to talk like, say, a 13-year-old. They may be a 40 or 50-year-old adult, but they know how to play and act like a child. And they do that to groom the child, to bring them in. And they can go on an app and they can put in the age box, they can put a fake age because how are these websites really checking to make sure that if you say that your birth date is 2014, how do they know it's not really 1972? They don't know that. They're trusting that whoever input that information is giving correct information. And so once the 50-year-old person is in there pretending to be an 11-year-old, that's when they can start looking for people to prey on, children. And, it's the responsibility of the software to safeguard, but ultimately it's the responsibility of the parents to ensure that their children are protected and, you know, being aware of what your kid is engaged in. Because even though there is an act, the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, COPA, you know, it's still the parent's responsibility to make sure the kid is safe.
And this kind of goes into my next question perfectly, is what are some safeguards parents themselves can put into place to help reduce or even eliminate the risk of their child falling for one of these traps or getting in trouble online?
Certainly, if your kid has some kind of smart device or a computer, password protect everything. Your child should not be able to download anything without the parent coming in and putting in their username and password. The child should not have access to that username and password. That way, hopefully, they can't download anything from the App Store. They can't download anything from the Google Play Store or what have you. And if they are trying to get something, the parent has to be the one to do it. And then it's the parent's responsibility to go through the reviews, to read the Privacy Act, to read the terms and conditions, even sit down with your child and kind of go through it all with them. And if you don't see the things that should be there, protections in those privacy policies, then it's time to say, you know what, I don't think this is a good thing for us. But then also, it can't hurt to just do internet searches on this particular game or this app and put things like scam or protection after the name of it to see if other parents are having dialogue discussions on Reddit or what have you, saying, you know, we were on there and then my kid encountered this person who was really not. You know, people share all kinds of things now on the internet, and it can't hurt to just know before you download.
Exactly. And lastly, is there anything we haven't covered about child safety when it comes to the digital landscape that you want to get out there that we haven't discussed?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, as I said, you know, it's the parent's responsibility ultimately to know what your kid is engaged in. I know people, and I know I did it when my children were under the age of 14. You know, we didn't let them have a computer in their room. The computer was in the kitchen because that way we could kind of see what they were doing. Um, you know, if they were using an iPad or a phone, like my granddaughter, if she's using an iPad or trying to look at her mom's phone, she's in the room with her mom. She's not upstairs hiding in her bedroom looking at whatever. So I think the most important thing is make sure when your child is on one of these apps, involved in one of these games, having these conversations with another player, they need to be in the room with you so that you can kind of see what's going on. Because at the end of the day, I mean, you're responsible for that child and you're responsible for protecting that child because the company is not going to do it. They're there to make money.
Thank you so much for your time, Carol. It was truly a pleasure